Hey guys, in this video, I want to answer some of your questions you often ask about how to build a maintenance client list, how to price for them, do services, how to attract them in the first place. Let's start with one of the most commonly asked questions, which is how do you build a maintenance client service structure, pricing structure? I want to give you a little bit of a foundation of how to think about this. A maintenance client for most people is, of course, a client who you see on a regular basis. Here's what I've learned after building my own detailing business full of literally hundreds of maintenance clients, as well as other detailers full of maintenance clients. You can redefine a maintenance client or a regular detailing client broader than just a client who you see on a monthly or a bi-monthly basis. In other words, you can broaden the definition where they don't have to fit within a super specific time frame and still call them a maintenance client. There are other adjustments other than the price of the service that can be made in order to categorize them as a maintenance client. What I mean by this is simple. Most detailers only consider a client to be a maintenance client if they fit under a certain time frame. So 2 months, 1 month, every quarter or whatever it is. And then, of course, that maintenance client does not receive the entire sort of detailing service spectrum that a lot of people have. It's a quicker detail. It's not quite as intense because the car is not so dirty, and therefore the price comes down a little bit as well. We can still create maintenance clients that fit a different definition of a broader time frame where the price is actually not adjusted. The price is still a regular detailing price, and yet we call them a maintenance client anyways because while not all that often, they are still regular clients once a year, biannually, and you can start to pull other levers that are not just pricing and start to add additional services to attract them to a plan like that, which many people take because they want those additional free services to become a maintenance client and sort of pay the same price but get a little bit more for their money. So that's the first thing that I would just set as a foundation. You don't have to just pull the lever of price if the client fits within a certain time frame. That was one of the big unlocks for me in my detailing business. The second thing is when you're building a service structure for a maintenance plan, what detailers often do is they have all these like limiting beliefs almost that just like flood their mind where they're like, well, I can't do this and I can't do this because it's a maintenance client, I'm only charging this, and I can't offer this service, and they just can't figure out how to create a service list for a maintenance client. Here's what you want to do when you're creating a service list. A maintenance client is nothing more than a client who ideally you see on a regular basis and the car is not all that dirty. So let's put it in the classic definition for the sake of what I'm explaining here. That being said, that does not mean that I have to constrain all of the things that I'm offering this client to this, specific set of services. And if I do anything outside of that, then I can't consider them a maintenance client. And all of a sudden I'm going to lose money and blah, 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 blah. For example, the interior of this truck is a maintenance client. You can see how clean it is before I ever touched it. I rarely have to do anything to this truck. That being said, for this particular detail, I actually did have to scrub part of the carpet and extract part of it because they spilled milk. That is not traditionally what is included in a maintenance detail. But it's not going to throw me for a loop because every now and then I'm going to have to do something outside of the classic maintenance plan if I'm going to keep them as a regular customer. It took me maybe an extra 10 minutes in the detail, and that's it. One of the things I like to say you want to communicate to your customer when it comes to a maintenance plan is that you do not want to communicate a maintenance plan such that the customer feels like they're getting less and therefore paying less. This is what many detailers do. They're like, hey, get on my maintenance plan because it only costs this and you're only getting this, this, and this. What we want to communicate to the customer is it only costs this, and you're getting everything you need to keep the car in basically perfect condition, no matter what that requires. That is the point. You and I both know when we do this interior, when we take care of the maintenance car, it's not going to take all of the services other cars take. But I'm not going to explicitly state that to the customer so that they feel like, oh, I'm getting money off on a regular basis, but I'm also not getting all the services. It's like, no. Yes, I have a classic service list that is generally what takes care of a maintenance interior. That does not mean that's the only thing that's ever going to happen. If other things are necessary, I am going to do those things. So when you're listing things out on your website of what's included in your maintenance plan, keep this in mind. We want the customer to feel like, no, they're getting everything they need and more. It's just at a discounted price because of the regularity. So the price lever gets pulled when it fits within a certain time frame. That's the main selling proposition of that type of maintenance client. So number one, don't be afraid to extend time frames of a maintenance client so that you can fit them into some sort of regularity, even if it's not the most regular and you don't have to pull price. There are other incentive levers to pull. Secondly, when you're building a maintenance plan, you want to make sure you're communicating. You're getting everything you need to keep this car in perfect condition, anything it takes, and it's at a lower price because of the regularity, okay? Not we're lowering the price and you're also not going to get as much because, hey, we don't need to do as much because the car's already clean. Don't communicate it that way. That would be insane. Guys, if this was helpful, make sure to hit the like button for all the pro detailers out there who like listening to the business talks. And as always, if you need any help with anything in your detailing business, check out the resources that are totally free that I've got below this YouTube video in the description box, not least of which is the Pro Detailing Toolbox, which is a total outline of every product and tool you need. And if you want to save a lot of money, that thing is going to seriously help you. Like I said, it's totally free to you. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, a great detailer is always learning, and I will see you in the next video.